Our lesson of the day is calculating powers, where we are going to learn to represent and calculate numbers as powers. Let's talk a little bit about what powers are. Special effects. Powers are a numerical expression that shows repeated multiplication. So it's just a math statement that shows how you multiply the same number repeatedly or over and over and over again. Let's take a math sentence, 5 times 5 times 5. Okay, now you can write this out. It's pretty straightforward, but if you get into something where you're multiplying 5 like 100 times in a row, so it's 5 times 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 5, and a whole other times 5s. You don't want to write that out. I don't want to say it. All the way to 100. So what you can do is you can write the expression as a power. And here we have this written out as a power. We have 5 times 5 times 5, okay? Written out 3 times, and that's going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay? And here's how you figure out how to write this out, because there's 2 numbers here. You can see just real quickly that I showed you where the 3 comes from. Okay, that's the number of times the number of you're multiplying is multiplied. And that couldn't get any more complicated. It's the number of times you multiply your number. Okay, this is called the exponent. Next, so this number right here is the exponent. Okay, so that's the number of times you're repeatedly multiplying your number. Then we have this number here, which is called the base. No, it's not called the third baseman, as Josh Donaldson from the Blue Jays. Please, no gang signs. That's not what it is. Here to Josh Donaldson. No gang signs. It's a children's show. We are looking at the base, okay, and that's this number here. Okay, it's a number that you're repeatedly multiplying. Okay, and so that number you just have to write down is big, and then in the superscript you're writing down the exponent up in the top corner here. Taking a look at another example, 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, so our base, okay, is going to be the number that we're repeatedly multiplying. That number is 3. So we're going to write that 3. We are multiplying it 1, 2, 3 times. So our little superscript number is going to be 3. Okay, and so it's exact same thing if you were to be given, say, 5 to the power of, let's say, 10. Okay, you're taking your base and you're going to multiply it 10 times. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see, it's just a much easier and quicker way of writing things, even though it might look a little bit more complicated. But Mr. Atkinson? Yes, student with a problem. When I multiplied 3 to the power of 3, I got the answer 9. And 5 to the power of 10, I got the answer 50. Well, student with a problem, this is your problem. You are multiplying this. 9 is 3 times 3, okay? And 50, you're multiplying 5 times 10. You're multiplying the base by the exponent, which is wrong. Okay? This number here represents the number of times you're multiplying your base. Okay? And again, you're multiplying it up in the top here 1, 2, 3 times. Okay? let's take a look at using a calculator to calculate your power. So let's say you have 0.32 times 0.32 times 0.32, okay, or written as a power. Why don't you pause the video right now and try it out? And so now hopefully you paused it. This would look like 0.32 to the power of 3. Make sure you write better. And if you're going to use a calculator, okay, you're just going to type in your base. So that's 0.32. And type in your base. Okay. Then you're going to press a little button. Okay. Actually, there might be one of two buttons. So the first button that you might press will look like a little arrow up at the top of the button. That is an exponent button. So you're going to put in your base. You're going to then press the exponent button, and then you're going to put in your exponent, which is 3 in this case. Then you're going to hit the equal sign. And if you don't have this button right here, okay, if you don't have this button, you probably have a button that looks like a little different. So again, you're going to type in your base first, then you're going to hit your exponent button, which will look like this, y to the power of x. And then you're going to put in your exponent, 3, and hit your equal button. And whenever you have like a big long number, like this will equal 0.3276, I can almost fit it, 68. You just have to write it down when you're giving me the answer to the thousandth spot. Okay, that's a 7 here. So when you write it down, you just give me equals 0.32 to the power. We're going to round up because 6 is closer to 10. So our 7 becomes an 8.